Hello and welcome back to Heart of Amethyst. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is right after having your first geography lesson, I guess it's called, and magic lesson, if you could call it a lesson, with Ehlly. And we will be continuing our little lessons with the other two, which would be Almond and Rodrick. So let's continue. Once I'm done eating, I return to my room to take a break. There I see Almond standing by the desk, checking my stuff. And he's shirtless for some reason. Ah, there you are. I figured you would come back, so I waited here. Hope you don't mind. He greets me with a smile on his face. His fur is a little messy, and he looks out of breath. No, it's fine. Did you just get here? Yeah, about a minute or so. That's odd. I didn't see him on my way here. Did he get past me without me noticing? No way, there's only one staircase that leads up here. If he had gone through here, I would have smelled his scent. Which is quite strong, I must say. How? I didn't see you climbing the stairs. Oh, I needed the workout. So, I climbed through the window. No big deal, mate. I waited for the joke to land, but he seems dead serious about this one. We're, really high. If you don't believe me, I can jump and climb again. He says with a cheeky grin, which, for some reason, makes me blush like a fool. It reminds me a lot of the overconfidence Hugo used to have. No, it's okay. Doesn't matter. Why are you here? Didn't Ehlly tell you? We're having bow practice. What? But I don't know how to use a bow. Well, duh. That's why I'm here to teach you, mate. Don't fret. I've been told I'm a good teacher. He smirks again, making me feel all nervous once more. I'm not sure if he intended to do that or not, but if he does, then he's doing a great job. Anyway, come. We need to go to the practice yard. Wait, we're going right now? Yeah, no time to waste, little buddy. As I'm being dragged out of my room, I take a last glance at my very comfortable bed. I'll be back. I swear it. The sun is burning bright outside. In the horizon, there is nothing but endless water. The lake has always been big, but taking a look at it while being surrounded by it, well, it gives you a whole different perspective. Almond is a few feet away, setting up some targets around the field. I had separated myself from him a while ago, as I wanted to explore the courtyard by myself. This is my first time being here, after all. The whole area is really huge. I say you could easily fit 10 houses in here, if not more. The more I look at it, the more I feel all of this is a dream. What are you looking at? He scares the shit out of me, making me jump like a little kitten. Gee, the fact that he can approach me like that scares me a little. I didn't notice his presence at all. I was just looking around. Beautiful, isn't it? This has to be my favorite place in the whole castle for sure. He leans beside me and looks towards the lake, a smile on his face. Anyway, ready for your bow practice? I'm done with the preparations. As ready as I'll be. I sigh, not entirely sure if this is a good idea, as I'll most likely make a fool of myself. Relax, mate. No one is born knowing. That's why I'm here. He pats my back and then walks away. I reluctantly follow him. We'll start simple. See that target over there? He points towards a tree in which a bullseye is hanging from. If I need to take a guess, I would say that it's at least 20 feet away from us, maybe more. The target is 30 feet away from this line exactly. There is a line marked in the dirt, so I'm guessing this is where we will be shooting from. It may look hard at first, but with enough practice, even a kid could hit that. So I'll demonstrate and you try to follow, okay? Well, if he says that, I might as well give it a try. I nod and he smiles at that. Great, stand back a little and pay close attention. He winked back at me, clearly confident about his skill. Huh, isn't this guy full of himself? Anyway, I do as he says and take a few preventative steps away from him. He grabs one of the many bows that he had arranged, along with an arrow. As soon as he lifts it up though, his expression changes. His usual smile fades away and his eyes have a certain sparkle on them. His whole body tenses up, giving me a full display of his well-toned muscles. And the fact that he is not wearing a shirt doesn't help. The more I look, the more I can't help but notice how nice this guy looks. He's clearly a lady killer. As I check him out, my eyes eventually dart towards a line of fur leading to his... Stop, nasty thoughts, away. This is not the time to be thinking about the lower head. Ahem. That aside, I can also notice that he's barely breathing. His eyes are fixated on the target. And then... he releases the arrow, which impacts perfectly on the middle of the target. Almond has a cocky smile, clearly proud of hitting the target so perfectly. See? It's easy. Yeah, maybe for you. I reply, making him chuckle. He hands me his bow and gives me another arrow while smiling. It's quite comforting, I'll give him that. But I'm still not feeling it. You'll never know if you don't try it. Show me what you got. I sigh as he pushes me forward. I stand as straight as I can, firmly holding the bow in my hand. I then place the arrow in the middle, and I instinctively close my left eye. Meanwhile, Almond is just standing there, checking me out from top to bottom, probably evaluating how bad my stance is. I pay him no mind, as I'm trying to focus really hard on how to make this. There. I think I got it. Now it's just a matter of... Go ahead, shoot. I almost dropped the bow by accident, as I wasn't expecting him to talk like that. So rude. Give me some time, will ya? I'm trying to concentrate. He rolls his eyes, chuckling again. This guy must be having the time of his life seeing me struggle like this. Anyway, I try to focus again, pointing the arrow directly to where I want it to go. And then release it. As I expected, after releasing the arrow, it just flew a few feet ahead of us and then landed on the ground. My cheeks turned red, both from embarrassment and frustration. I really thought I had it. Told you it was useless. I don't know what to do. Here, try again. He gives another arrow and pats my back softly. I can't help but tilt my head as I offer him an odd look and a raised eyebrow. Is he really not going to teach me a thing? Almond? Go on, trust me, mate. I'm your teacher, eh? I roll my eyes and do as he says. I hold the bow high and try to concentrate as much as I can. The best idea I have is to try and replicate what I do when picking locks. So I block the sounds from the outside and try to focus on my heartbeat. Keep it steady, Ehlly. You got this. It takes me a while, but I find a shooting position that feels comfortable. And as I'm about to shoot, he decides to hold me from the back in a warm embrace, taking me out of my concentration state. His arms wrap around me when holding my elbow and the other placed on my waist. Relax, mate. You're too tense. How can I not? What is this guy thinking? Now I can't concentrate for sure. His hot breath hits my right ear, and his warmth feels oddly comforting. I can easily feel his strong frame as he holds me tight, his muscles being as impressive as they seem to be. I may not be seeing them, but this is better than just looking. And his scent. Being this close to him, I can't help but to feel lightheaded. It's really strong, and even if I try to ignore it, I couldn't. But who am I kidding? I'm not trying to ignore it at all. The smell of this man is intoxicating and addicting. At least to me. He's got not a single lotion on him. Mere natural musk, and not the disgusting type of musk. This one is oddly pleasant. Hold it steady. Right there. He speaks slowly and sexily onto my ear, clearly trying to rile me up. And let's just say, he doesn't need to try very hard. Your shoulders and abdomen are way too tense. Relax. Let the bow be an extension of your arm. I gulp, trying to set my eyes on the target, but it's no use. I can't focus, even if my life was on the line. I'm not making you nervous, am I? You're shaking. He's right. I'm currently shaking under his touch. He's got me trapped. And as he notices my lack of words, he lets his hands trail through my body. His left one goes lower on my belly, approaching a very dangerous spot. This idiot, what the hell is he thinking? If he keeps this up, something else will be tense, and it won't be my shoulders. Maybe I should stop him. Yeah, as much as you would want this, this is very bad behavior from an instructor. Enough. I make him drop the act, forcing him to take a few steps away from me. The arrow is currently sitting on the dirt as I dropped it. Not feeling in the mood for the class anymore. He went too far. I can feel my cheeks burning, but there's no way in hell I'm falling for another jerk. One was more than enough. Besides, this is not a place to be doing something like this. Sorry. I got a little carried away, didn't I? You think? His cheeks are also fully red, and he seems rather embarrassed by his actions. But what the hell was he thinking? If we get caught, there would definitely be a scandal. Two gay guys doing it in the backyard of a royal castle. I can already see our heads rolling. Anyway, I think that's enough for today, mate. He claps and nervously smiles, taking the bow and the unshot arrow. What? But you didn't even teach me how to shoot properly. There will be more chances to do that, mate. I just wanted to know my student better. And I did, so that's enough for now. His usual endeavor returns, as if what just happened never actually did. This guy is really weird. Anyway, you should stay here. Next lesson is... Rodrick's. His face turns sour for a second, but he tries to hide it behind a smile. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll be fine. Just don't let him take advantage of you, okay? Well, that's a bold thing to say coming from him, considering he just groped me all over. I really must go, though. Good luck. He takes a last glance towards the sky before waving his hand and jogging away. Almond enters one of the halls connected to the backyard and vanishes behind a corner. Me, on the other hand, I just lazily walk towards the tree and sit under it. I close my eyes and take a moment to think of what just happened. If Almond was really hitting on me, what am I supposed to do back? I mean, he's quite attractive, but this is far from the ideal situation, and I barely know him. Ugh, I'm so confused. I drop on the grass, and my eyes soon begin to feel heavy. I know the cons of sleeping in the grass, but I'm way too tired to care. Wake up! I hear a mumbled voice in the distance. Run! My eyes beg for me not to open them, and I listen. I just need a few more hours of sleep, thank you very much. Wake up! I'm awake, I'm awake! First thing I see after opening my eyes is Rodrick standing with his arms crossed and a rather irritated expression. He's wearing a more casual outfit this time. Quite the change, I must say. I was used to seeing him in his armor. You done taking your nap, Runt? We don't have all day. I slowly stand up from my sleeping spot. My muscles feel a little sore, but this was a very needed nap. You're a mess. Aren't you a sweetheart? I just needed a place to sleep. I don't care. Follow me. As blunt as always, Rodrick doesn't explain anything to me and just orders me to follow him. He takes me to a spot on the courtyard in which a few trees are surrounding what seems to be a training ground. It looks improvised though, as if it was just made. A few metal and wooden swords are stuck on the ground. The wolf stops in front of the two wooden swords and tosses one of them to me. And just like that, he proceeds to take off his shirt. What is up with guys in shirts today? The first thing that my eyes land on is his massive chest. It looks firm and muscular. And you can say the same for his impressive biceps and overall arms. The only non-muscular part of his body is his abdomen. Instead of a six-pack, the wolf has a cute-looking belly. Taking a closer look, I can clearly notice that his fur is quite large, covering his neck area, making it look extra fluffy. Wow, I never thought I would ever call Rodrick fluffy. In a swift motion, he grabs the other sword and takes a few swings before setting it back onto the ground. You should really thank the king for this. I was going to make you work in the Fang, but he insisted for this little training spot to be created. The servants worked all morning on it. His tone of voice is clearly accusatory, as if he was trying to make me feel guilty. But do I have to remind you that it was the king's idea to make me his retainer in the first place? Still, a little knot forms in my stomach as I remember yesterday's explosion. The king is being really nice to me, yet I feel like something odd is going on. And Rodrick clearly shares such thoughts. No, it's useless to be thinking of this. Pull it together, Ehlly. Don't give him the satisfaction to know that this is affecting you. I mutter some words of encouragement to myself before smiling back at Rodrick. A normal and blunt smile, no guilt here. Then I'll make sure to thank the king later. He grunts to that and doesn't continue with the conversation, so I do the same. I think it's better if I don't rile him up after all. It's highly likely that he'll be the one hitting me with a sword soon enough. Have you ever used a sword? Can't say that I have. Not even with your friends as a kid? Well, I didn't have the most normal childhood. Let's leave it at that. He sighs, ignoring my comment completely. Then turns around and begins to draw a circle in the dirt. Once he's done, he signals me to come to him. Stand inside that circle. Why? Just do as I say, Runt. Get your ass here. And lose a shirt. You'll thank me later. I feel like a little kid being scolded by his dad. So, not wishing to delay the inevitable, I decide to question him no more. Once I'm ready, he kicks one of my legs, spreading them lightly. Spread your legs and place your dominant feet in front, while the other one behind. And don't touch the circle. Do as I tell you in the space you were given. The circle is just big enough for me to take half a step. He nods lightly as he sees me do what he asked. Good. That'll be enough. Now squat a little and point the sword upward in whichever arm position you find the most comfortable. I decide to give it a try, grabbing the sword with my two hands and placing it in between my legs. That's very suggestive. At least, it's what comes naturally to me. I bet. While I do so, the wolf doesn't speak a word. He just looks at me intensely. Not the most graceful stance, but it'll do. Memorize this stance, Runt. This will be your base fighting form. The one you come back to. In easier words, your safe space. As he says that, the wolf takes a few steps away from me and grabs his own sword. He positions himself in front of me, readying up his own fighting stance. Which, let's be honest, looks a lot more stable than mine. We'll start with simple blocks. I will swing my own sword towards you. I want you to try and deflect my hit. Try to use the middle part of the sword to connect with mine. Reason for that is mere balance. If I hit the edge, your sword may come off your hands. Same for the spot closer to the handle. Besides, closer to the handle means closer to your hand. And I'm sure you don't want your fingers to be chopped off. Horizontal slashes are best blocked by a vertically positioned sword, and vice versa for the rest. You'll figure it out. Get ready, I won't stop the swing if you fail, so you better learn fast. Without a warning, Rodrick swings his wooden sword towards me. It was a horizontal slash, so I tried to block it by placing the sword vertically to my right. But it's no use. He can easily disarm me by hitting the tip of my weapon and then carrying on until my own right arm stopped the hit. I hiss and grunt quite loudly as I feel my arm may fall down at any moment. Be quicker, you need to react. Don't think. Easy for him to say, he's not the one getting his ass beat. Despite the pain, I ready myself up for his next attack, which comes faster than I expected and has the same exact result as the previous one. Hit after hit after hit, Rodrick continues his class, until I eventually manage to pick up his pace, blocking most of the hits. Luckily for me, he does stop when he notices that I blocked properly, because I'm pretty sure that he could easily break my defense if he tried to. Before I notice, a few hours passes by. We spent the entire afternoon training, or what he considers as training. I see it more as a beating. Although, to be honest, I learned a thing or two. That'll be good enough for now. You're dismissed, Runt. The knight finally relaxes his stance, throwing his sword to the side. I watch him walk all the way to one of the benches, sitting there with a loud thud. For real? He raises his eyebrow and looks back at me, silently asking me if I want to continue with the abuse. To what I silently deny with the head. Just as he says that, I drop to the ground. My legs feel like noodles, and my arms are about to give up. I look up to the red sky, breathing heavily as I try to calm my fast-beating heart. I can also hear Rodrick breathing heavily on the other side of the field. Lifting my head a little, I can see his back on full display, and the massive scar on it. It has the shape of an X, and it looks like a mark made by hot metal. I should know. I've seen countless cows marked just like that. Besides, no sword wound would look that clean. And why would someone do that to him? And how? I mean, it's not really my problem, and I should stay away from this wolf, as he's not the most approachable guy. But I'm so curious, though. Let's see if he says anything. Well, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Hopefully, I won't die. So with that in mind, despite my better judgment, I decide to stand up from the dirt, clean up a little, and then walk towards the bench he's sitting at. Once I reach it, I take the spot to his left. He lifts his gaze towards me, probably wondering what the heck I'm doing. I don't say a word, giving him the chance to take the first step. What are you still doing here, Runt? I told you, you can leave. Yeah, I know. I'm just catching my breath. His eyes lock with mine for a second. Yeah, as right as I remember. He soon loses interest, though, looking away. Suit yourself. An awkward silence soon ensues. The big wolf keeps on checking this ring of his. His expression seems lonely. and some would even call it sad. He doesn't even bat an eye on me, which proves that this was a dumb idea, as I don't even know how to start a conversation with him. I sigh deeply, standing up from my spot and then turning around, ready to leave him alone. But as I'm about to leave, he coughs, dragging my attention back to him. Today's training was... okay. You're not as useless as you look. So, expect the same tomorrow. Wait, is he actually complimenting me? Thanks? That's all I managed to say, as I wasn't expecting him, of all people, to say something nice. Well, somewhat nice. He still insulted me somehow. He doesn't respond afterwards, though. He is clearly done with this conversation, so I take it as my cue to leave. Putting my shirt on, I walk to the end of the backyard, reaching out the hallway where I came. Standing by the entrance of it, there is a very large-looking maid. She's definitely the tallest woman that I have ever seen, and one of the sexiest for sure, as she keeps her curvy and feminine frame. I mean, my boat may not be directed that way, but I do know how to appreciate beauty when I see it. Her eyes are emotionless and are currently looking into the distance. But when she notices me, her red orbs turn towards me. She gets closer, to the point that I can properly notice the height difference between us. She's one head taller than me, if not more. Good evening, Master Ehlly. It is a pleasure to finally meet you. The tall woman gracefully bows in front of me, making me feel a little embarrassed. No one has ever called me Master while being serious. Just that one time with... oh, fuck, never mind. Yeah, it's a pleasure, Ruby, sir. That is my name. Right. Ruby, nice to meet you. I wait for her to say anything else, but she just looks at me, her eyes examining me as if I was a weird specimen. Not the first one to do that in this castle. Need something, Ruby? She stops her scanning, her eyes landing on mine. Crap, why is she making me so nervous all of a sudden? Yes, Master Ehlly, my apologies. I should introduce myself first. I'm one of the princess's personal servants. She asked me to let you know that she will be waiting for you by the garden after sunset. Huh. So the princess herself wants to meet me? I mean, yeah, sure. I wasn't doing anything anyway. I'll be there. Perfect then. She'll be pleased with your answer. Just one thing, Sir Ehlly. The princess hates to wait, so make sure to be here on time. Did I make myself clear? As she says that, her presence suddenly becomes heavy and suffocating. Is this some sort of spell? I've never felt anything like this before. My legs are trembling and I can't control the urge to run away. Yes, ma'am. As soon as I say those words, the ambience returns to normal. I don't feel heavy and my mind doesn't think my life is in danger anymore. Maybe I should ask Callus about this later. I would recommend that you take care of yourself before meeting the princess. You stink, sir. With that said, she leaves my sight. I still don't understand what really happened, but I better hurry. Wouldn't want to make the princess angry. And also, note to self, do not get on her bad side. My legs are killing me, but somehow I managed to reach the hall to my room again. I should really hurry. I don't want to be late. Don't know what the maid would do to me if I am. Hell, sir. I hear a mumbled sound, but it's so faint that I can hardly notice it. I focus as best as I can, trying to sense if there's someone around here. But nothing. How odd. I could swear that I heard a voice. Must be my imagination. Sir? There it is again. What is this voice? A ghost? I turn around multiple times, desperately trying to find the source of the voice. Mr. Biscotti told me many stories of ghosts that haunt the castles of the nobles. Most of them are vengeful spirits that have some sort of unfinished business with the owner of the castle. Besides, I'm on top of a tower, separated from the rest of the castle. It's the perfect scenario for a ghost to be roaming around. Who are you? I just got here, please. Leave me alone. I can feel the fur on my neck tense up. If there is a presence here with me, it is a very faint one. Where? Sir Ehlly? By the goddesses! I fall right on my ass as my legs trip with one another. I look up and I can finally see the ghost that has taken the form of a butler. Please, I beg you, I'm not the one you're searching for, I swear. Oh my, oh heavens, I'm very sorry, Master Ehlly. The little guy crouches beside me, and with his tiny hands, he tries to lift me up. Upon closer inspection, he doesn't look like a ghost at all. Besides, he is touching me, which is weird as ghosts have no bodies. How the hell did he do that? He came out of nowhere. I am so very sorry, Master. This is all my fault. The guy seems to be a dog, more specifically a golden retriever. One of the tiny ones, though, as most golden retrievers I've ever seen are quite tall. Who are you? Ah, yes, sorry, it's my fault. I'm sorry. Ironically, the guy is trembling like crazy, and he wasn't the one scared to death. I sigh. If I want to get anywhere, I need him to calm down. So I place my hands on his shoulders, trying to act calming. Hey, it's okay, buddy. No harm done. Please, who are you? It takes him a while to calm down, but eventually he stops trembling. My name is, Zach, sir. Nice to meet you, Zach. Tell me, why are you here? The little guy is fidgeting as he looks away. He hasn't met my eye even once, and he seems really nervous to be around me. I'm a butler in training, sir. His Majesty has, assigned me to you. Meaning, I'll be your personal assistant from now on. So, it's a pleasure to meet you, Master. Please forgive my ineptitude. He bows in front of me, making me worry for his back as he bends a little too far. It's very good to meet you, Zach. Please calm down. It's okay. The little dog seems to be a little more relaxed. Gee, for a moment there, I thought he would have a heart attack. The poor fella is a little walking sack of nerves. Ah, sir, I almost forgot. You must take a bath. Excuse me? Huh, this guy might be bolder than I thought. What a way to tell me that I smell. I mean, it's not that bad, is it? I take a quick whiff to my pit. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Ah, no, please don't be offended, Master. You have an appointment with the princess, right? Ah, shit. I almost forgot about that. I should really be getting ready for that. I facepalm myself, as I can't believe this horrible memory of mine. Sir, I already readied you a bath. Please, through this door. He points towards one of the 3 doors in this hallway. I was actually wondering what these were. Huh, lucky me. Seems like I have my own personal bathroom. I'll be right here if you need anything. Please hurry. I follow his instructions and try to take the damn bath as fast as possible. I really don't want to anger that maid. I rushed through the bath as fast as I could. I got in and out in a minute, washing up as best as possible while making myself decent for the meeting. The bathtub was really big and comfortable, but sadly, I didn't get to enjoy it much. Anyway, now I finally reached the courtyard again. There, I see the maid waiting by a tree and a girl with her back to me, so I can't really see her face. I slowly walk towards them, not wanting to sweat my clothes all over again. The sun was fully set by now, and the stars began to shine bright in the sky. There was some fireflies flying around in the bushes and the grass, giving the environment a certain mystical aura. Ruby is gracefully standing still under the tree. Meanwhile, the princess is just humming a song as she looks up at the sky. She stops as soon as she notices my presence. You're late. I try to greet her, but she interrupts me before I can properly say a thing. She then turns around and now I can properly see her. My first thought was intense. Everything about her gives me that feeling. From her red hair to her red eyes, then her expression and her whole body language. All about this girl is screaming danger to me. This isn't like what Ruby did. I don't feel like running. But for some reason, I just know that I need to be careful around her. Is that him, Ruby? She lifts her chin, a clear sign that she thinks herself superior to me. Indeed, my lady, this is Master Ehlly, your grandparents' new retainer. Goddesses, he did it again. And I thought one peasant was more than enough. Yeah, this is exactly what I imagined a royal to be. Elitist, self-centered, and rude. You, where do you hail from? It takes me a while to notice that she is talking to me. So far, she has acted as if I wasn't even there. I'm a citizen of Yagnir, my lady. I will never understand what my grandpapa sees in you. All of his retainers are nothing but misfits. She must be speaking of Icalis, Rodrick, and Almond. I wonder what she means. To me, those guys look fairly normal. Or somewhat normal. And here I thought he would finally bring a noble to the island. I've been so bored. She sighs deeply, placing one of her fingers on her forehead. Meanwhile, Ruby just rubs her back, consoling her apparently. I'm sorry I'm not what you expected, my lady. I must take my leave then. Her expression suddenly changes, turning a lot more aggressive than before. Yes, that is possible. How dare you? You can't be excused yourself before I say so. Don't you have any manners? She walks closer to me and then slaps my cheek. I wink a few times, not sure what the heck just happened. No, wait. I do know what happened. She's crazy. Well, it doesn't matter. You'll have to do. Sir Ehlly, answer this question. Do you know how to play Save the Queen? Does she mean the kid's game? That makes me wonder how old this girl is. No, wait. If what the king said is right, she'll be older than me. Yes, I do know how to play. Good. Then you'll suffice. You're better than the servants, as they always let me win. Sorry, what? You will play with me when you're done with your training. Shit, not another compromise. I have enough on my plate as it is. My princess, you honor me. But I'm sure there must be someone better qualified than me. I say, trying to find my way out of this. There is no one on this island. So, as long as you're my only option, you shall play with me. Yes, I would love to, but, if I may, how about Icalis? He's way smarter than me. I bet he'll be a better challenger. No, he won't do. He bores me to no end, and his face is lame. She stubbornly says, not trying to hide the fact that she dislikes the wolf. How about Almond, then? I'm sure he would be thrilled to play with your majesty. No, he's always trying to hide something, and I don't trust him. She turns her head to the side, crossing her arms, making me sigh. What about Sir Rodrick? I'm sure that a captain would be a very good player. After all, the game is a war strategy game. Is it not? No, Rodrick is no good either. He would let me win, as he always does. Seems to me that there is no way out of this. I'll be forced to play with her no matter what I do. So I just sigh and decide to comply. Alright then, I shall play with you, my lady. May I excuse myself now? Yes, you may. I'll be sending Ruby for you tomorrow, same as today. Don't be late again! I'm certain her loud scream has been heard from all over the castle. How does Ruby put up with her? Then I'll see you later, my princess. She offers me her hand and stays quiet. I tilt my head, unsure of what to do. Go on, kiss my hand, Ehlly. Do you really know nothing of manners? Ah, yes, my apologies. I lean forward, giving her soft hand a kiss. I managed to catch the scent of roses, meaning that she probably took a bath recently. Does that mean that she prepared herself for this meeting? Off you go then. I respond nothing to that. All I do is bow lightly, trying not to get slapped again. I entered my room after the longest day of my life. I flop onto the bed. My whole body is aching for some rest, and I'm going to give it what it wants. Oddly enough, this room feels like a safe haven where I won't be bothered any longer. The only place I can call my own on this goddess's forsaken island. Today was a longer day than what I was expecting. Icalus's class was quite interesting. I learned a lot of things from him, and I got to know him a little better while doing so. Which is great, I guess. And the whole magic explanation was wonderful. I would never have thought people could do such wonderful things. But still, there are so many things that can be done wrong too. The fire gives me too many bad memories. Still, he's the Grand Master of the library. That's really impressive. No wonder he's so serious all the time. But I know there was something else in there. After all, he tried to explain everything to me as best as he could. And he's kind in his own weird way. Talking about kind, Almond really is something else. The guy is a complete mystery, always acting nice and dandy, but I never felt like he was honest with me. He avoided my questions, and he didn't even teach me a thing. He just said he wanted to know me, but why? Besides, there's the fact that he tried to grope me today. What was his deal, hitting on me like that out in the open? Such a pervert. I think it's better if I don't give it much thought. I just need to pay real close attention to him. Maybe that way I'll figure out what his deal is. And lastly, Rodrick. A real pain in the ass since I got here. The guy clearly doesn't want me here, and it's highly likely that he was forced to give me that class. Oddly enough, it was a very good one. I mean, it did hurt, but I bet he could have gone a lot harder on me if he wanted to. The wolf clearly has the muscles to break my arm easily. But I ended up learning a thing or two, and I kinda liked it. I sigh, leaning onto my pillow, which already has some of my smell attached to it. I wonder if this bed will end up smelling like me. I don't want to admit it, but as fancy as it looks, I'm still their prisoner. The king says he wants me to be his retainer, but I refuse to believe he's doing it out of the kindness of his heart alone. He must have a reason, so I should try and figure it out. I won't be safe as long as they make me remain in the dark. The one who remains in the dark. That dream. It felt so real. I thought I had forgotten about it, but it suddenly all came back to me. Must be my brain playing tricks on me. Wouldn't be surprised if that were the case. After all, I'm terrified of what will come tomorrow. To be continued. That was longer than I expected, even though technically the creator dev had said that it was going to be a long update. But yeah, we got to finally be more formally introduced with the three, who I'm assuming guardians that was mentioned at the beginning of the chapter. Um, I, to be honest, I like Icalus and Rodrick more than I like Almond, but I do still like Almond, but I don't like that flirty behavior. In truth, in person, and it's gonna surprise at least one person that I know, because it's kind of like that in person. Um, the flirty behavior for me is like a big red flag. So if you're flirty, you're either doing it because you're kind of promiscuous, or because that's like your only character, like your only personality trait, and that's all you are. um But I'm guessing that there's more to his little aloof personality, that he's using it to cover up something. So I guess we'll have to find out later. We also got to meet the entitled, I'm assuming, princess. So she said that the king was her grandpapa, which means that she is the daughter of one of the two sons that he had that died / are not there anymore. So I wonder who the other one is, because there's two pups that, survived their parents. And she's one, obviously, so where's the other one? Or could it be Rodrick? Or could it be Almond? Or, well, it's probably not a Callus. But, we'll have to find out later, I guess. And I'm assuming that the presence, or the force, that, Ehlly felt in front of Ruby was her using her crim to sort of pressure him. Like, kind of like how you see in animes when, how do I explain it? I know what I want to say, but I don't know how to explain it, where it's basically like somebody is exerting their force, but not like a physical force, but like their overall presence on somebody smaller or like weaker. And they're like, oh no, I feel his force all over me, or her force. But it's like not an actual, they're not actually squishing them, but like they feel overwhelmed by the person's presence. Anyways, so what do you guys think of the three guys? Who's your favorite among them? Would you have let Almond grope you? I probably would not have it in person. Like, I probably would have hit him. I probably also wouldn't have grabbed Callus's hand. I would have gotten closer and like try to put my hand through the flame, but I wouldn't have grabbed it like a weirdo. And I think the only normal one was Rodrick out of the three. The only normal interaction, like, just trying to get closer to him, was like, do you want to like get to know me so you're not so, abrasive? But yeah. Anywho, so I wonder what the king also has in mind, because obviously, or it's hinting at that Ehlly, it might be like the apostle reborn, and perhaps the king wants to keep him close because it's like, well, if he's reborn, I might as well keep him here so that, it's so that nobody takes him, so that he doesn't end up in the church area, because they're probably doing their own little thing over there, and so that he doesn't get kidnapped or killed or something. So yeah, he probably also wants him for his own, scheming. I can't believe that the old man is that powerless, unless there really is other people in the main castle who are basically usurping his power and running the day-to-day things. And maybe that's why he wants them nearby, because it's like, oh look, the apostle's here, the savior. Oh look, here. You have to listen to me again. Go away, other people. But yeah, I don't know if it was also intentional, the bird United States, and how the United States has an eagle as its, little mascot, if you want to call it, and how we're all democracy, but we're always infighting. I don't know if that was intentional, but if it was, it's let's see, the cats are always, the ones you have to watch out for. Can never trust the cats. Even if it's a tiger or a lion, you can never trust them. But yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Heart of Amethyst yourself, you can find it over on itch. And I will obviously post a link down for the creator in the description, and they should have a direct link to the itch page. And if they have a Patreon, which I haven't checked and I don't remember if they do, I will put a link down for that if they do. And I guess that's it for now, and I will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.